These explosions are just some of the highlights of this channel, but what you haven't seen from these videos is the behind the scenes and the untold stories. Today, we're visiting never before seen footage to show you how the most popular videos on this channel were made, and how we came up with some of the most insane explosions here on YouTube. Nuking the Sea of Thieves with kegs. To date, this is still my most popular video over a year later. I kind of find it funny that I haven't been able to top myself, even though I think my video quality has improved, but maybe I'm just missing something. This is actually my first time doing a story-driven video. In the past, the first couple uploads, if you look at the beginning of the channel, it was a lot of Sea of Thieves content, but it was more focused around memes. And those took a while to edit, and I really wanted to pivot into more story-driven stuff. I'm going to show some never-before-seen gameplay in this. I actually found the original recording for this video from over a year ago, and I cut out a lot of parts, so I'll kind of touch on those a little bit as we go through this. First of all, this was a completely random gameplay session. We had no intentions of going in and doing anything with kegs. We just wanted to play Sea of Thieves, and I happened to be recording. This is very evident if you look at the first hour of footage where we're being chased by a Reaper brig that wanted us so bad. We were trying to farm for a level 5 merchant emissary, and that's why these guys wanted us. Oh, that might have fucked them. That might have fucked them. And eventually, we just stopped at an outpost and lowered our flag and scuttled because I was over it. Can we scuttle to a new sea? We logged on to a new server and we tried to get level 5 merchant emissary again. We did a fort. Obviously, when you complete a fort, it has the Athena kegs in there, and we put those on our boat. I think our intention initially was to sell the kegs, but we pivoted when we realized that two sloops were fighting each other at a world event. Ooh, there might be a sloop on sloop battle over there. And the idea came up of using the kegs on them. You know what sounds funny, honestly? If we get to 5, I'm not opposed to going to that island just nuking that fucking ship there. So we sold all of our loot, kept the kegs, and started sailing over there. Another funny part to me was that I was new to the game at the time. I hadn't played since 2020 and didn't know what the Skull of Siren's song was. I got flamed for this in the comments, which to this day I still find hilarious. I honestly can't remember why I included this in the video. I just thought it was cool, but looking back, I wouldn't have included that today. After we kegged that original ship, we had a few extra kegs, so obviously we went to the other guy and then did the rowboat keg, which was the last part of the video. And that rowboat keg idea actually spinned off the next video idea, and that was the 100 keg nuke idea that I had. It didn't start out that way, and we'll touch on that in a second, but this was the follow-up to nuking the Sea of Thieves with kegs. One thing that I didn't emphasize in the video is that getting 100 kegs took us over 4 hours total. The footage is about 4.5 hours long, and 4 hours of that is just us picking up kegs. As I was picking up kegs and we were stopping at forts, Cole Dem was getting a little antsy, so what he started doing was he would get off the ship and start swimming to other ships, just swimming in the water, his character, to go talk with them or mess around with them. There's about 2 hours of footage where he's just playing around with other sloops. What?
The guy did the thing, and he's like, who the fuck is in the water? And I'm like, hi, do you have some food? He's like, where the fuck is your ship? And I'm like, I'm swimming across the Sea of Thieves. And the guy said, no, you ain't. I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Originally, actually, we were only supposed to collect 50 kegs, but because the first 50 were so quick to get, I decided to bump it up to 100, which you can see me mention here. My head's starting to think, maybe we shoot for 100, but we'll see. Depends on how long I can do this.
Yeah.
The one thing I didn't realize when I committed to 100 halfway through this was that the fort loot refreshes were slowing down because we kept stopping at the same forts. And so the next 50, I think, took us about 2.5 hours to collect. One thing I didn't emphasize in the video was that when we found our victim to use the 100 keg nuke on, Cold Dem was actually on the island. He shot himself onto the island to go talk to the guy. So the guy completely unsuspected me being there at his ship. This is partially why I felt so bad, and later on in the video we actually went back, found him, and Cold Dem was able to get in contact with him over Discord. There's a sloop behind us. I wonder if that's him. It's at an outpost. I'm honestly not opposed to bringing the shit back to him if it's him.
Yeah, he talked. Yeah, he was so fucking, he was so chill. He was like, that was 100? And he's like, that makes sense, you know, what? And then he explained his point of view and shit like that. And,
fuck, I missed that.
You know, he said like everything was fair and stuff like that, so that we could return his loot to him. The guy was actually a really good sport,
about it, our victim of the 100 keg nuke. He even encouraged us to go keg some other ships because he found it so funny. So I really do appreciate that he was so cool about it.
I'd blow somebody else up. It'd be funny.
I think not many other players would have been as cool about it, speaking from experience. One final note I want to make here is that, well, yes, we had 100 kegs on the rowboat, and I didn't realize this at the time, but because the kegs were all consolidated in one place, it didn't actually nuke the whole ship. It just hit one part of the ship really hard. This was something I realized later on as I started playing the game more and more and recording more. It was still pretty cool visually, but I think it kind of diminishes the explosion a little bit when you take that into consideration. A couple of other notes before I move on to some of the newer videos. So both of these videos were recorded over a year ago. I actually sat on the 100 keg nuke video for 2 months because I was moving, and then I just wasn't in the groove of editing. So that video is pretty old, and I think we recorded both within the same week. I'd have to look back at the dates. In addition, the way I used to record, pretty funny. I had a pretty bootleg setup at the time. I would record myself by live streaming on Twitch on a secret channel that I've never posted via the Twitch app on Xbox. That's why the bitrate and the audio balancing was horrible, especially the audio. It would only record Cold Dem's party audio, so if him and I were talking in Discord, it would record it, but if him and I were talking in the game, he was silent, which is why I seem like I'm insane in these videos half the time, because he's actually talking to me in game and it's not getting picked up. My editing skills were also terrible. Fun fact, the subtitles in these videos were manually put in line by line by me. I didn't realize that you could automate those until much later and when I had much more experience. And I used Premiere Pro, by the way. Obviously, after these two videos, I tried to pivot towards other content in Sea of Thieves. I didn't want my channel to be only keg stuff. But about a year later, Cold Dem and I pivoted back towards keg videos because of a recent discovery. So let's move on to that. So I'll start with the one that popped off recently, the rowboat video. This is the video where we strapped a black powder keg and a normal keg to a rowboat and then used a horn of fair winds to propel ourselves towards ships. This idea actually came from us fucking around in a session where we weren't recording. I think Cold Dem was trying to bring a keg over to our ship by using a rowboat and found that he could use a horn of fair winds to get there faster, which spawned the whole video idea. Some comments that I got on YouTube in response to this video told me that the black powder keg wasn't enough to sink a sloop because it's too small. Others asking why we just didn't sink them regularly. Yeah, Cold Dem and I both know it's easier to put a keg on a ship in the middle of the ship and have it ignite, but we don't make these videos for practicality purposes. It's more just to be entertaining and be goofy. We know this is a very unconventional way of sinking ships, but we love the idea so much that we just went through with it anyways. We just like to have fun, essentially. So I actually don't have much, if any, background footage on this because this experiment was so successful, leading to not much background or setup footage. The setup for this was extremely easy. I think we only had one fail, which I highlighted in the video. But besides that, it was a pretty cut and dry video. And obviously you can tell from this video based on the quality that my editing skills, my recording, and my audio are significantly better than they were a year prior on those two videos. Hello, gentlemen! Hello, my friends. How are you guys?
Hello, guys.
Damn.
Hey, bro. I see you. Hey, both of you. What are you doing? I got you, bro.
Yikes.
Have a good one, guys.
GG.
GG, GG. That was, dude, that was
That was
beautiful.
absolutely perfect.
Dude, they were doing a fucking... And then finally, the outpost trap video, where we put a bunch of kegs on an outpost, waiting for a ship to arrive. This was an idea that I've had for a long time. Just the execution and commitment to make it work never lined up. Initial tries, we kept getting screwed over or died to dumb stuff, which I highlighted in the video.
Alright, don't... I got the keg, I'm coming aboard. Never mind, they're shooting. There is no way.
Holy fuck. Oh, fuck! Skeleton ship, I'm dropping. Fuck, dude, they're coming right here! They're shooting me! Help!
I'm trying to shoot them.
You did not, bro. You did not. When we did finally manage to set up, we did choose Ancient Spire Outpost. And this didn't make it into the video, but we set up and we sat there for over 3 hours and no one ever came to the outpost. There were a few close calls, but no one ever actually stopped at the outpost. And so that recording got scrapped because nothing ever came of it and it wasn't really entertaining. And then we just called it quits and decided to pick it back up later. And then we did try again a few weeks later, this attempt. So the first attempt was before the rowboat video. This attempt that was actually in the final video for the outpost trap was after the rowboat video. We weren't sure if we were going to try Ancient Spire again. We talked about doing Port Merrick because it always seems like ships are more likely to be on that side of the map. But because of how things played out within that video and the two sloops that were fighting each other that made the cut in the video, being near Ancient Spire, we decided to give Ancient Spire a try again. And surprisingly, or unsurprisingly, I guess surprisingly, we only had to wait about 20 minutes this time for a ship to actually show up. I was super nervous about this attempt. There was a lot of adrenaline going through because I knew that if we messed this attempt up, you know, we could be waiting for hours again to just have another ship show up. So the fact that we got it, everything set up, and someone actually showed up that time. Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
How are we doing today? Dude, no way. No fucking way. It worked.
Yeah.
Oh my god! I think really made me happy and relieved, especially since I've wanted to do this for so long. And so some final notes before I wrap up the video. Obviously the KEG videos are the most popular videos on the channel. Every time I've done a KEG specific video, they've gone over 1,000 views, but I don't want my channel to be centered around solely that. So that's why I've explored other ideas like open crew or in-game challenges. We do have more KEG videos on the way. I just wanted to break these videos down as these are my favorite videos that I've made, and there was a lot of footage that was kind of left on the table in the creation of these.